Right now, on to the point. The Democratic National Convention underway. Tonight, the Obamas prepare to take the stage. We'll take you there live. Plus, growing concerns over California's push for electric cars, what lawmakers are calling for, a family search for closure.
I want to hold them accountable for what they've done. I don't want anybody else to have to suffer something like this ever.
Why they're suing a local hospital after their daughter went missing. And later, is your campaign donation going to the right place? Our Verified team explains who's really behind political text messages. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us on To The Point. I'm Alex Bell. And tonight in Your Voice, Your Vote, the Democratic National Convention is underway. And just moments ago, Governor Gavin Newsom spoke on the convention floor, surrounded by California's delegates to help put Vice President Kamala Harris over the top, making her the Democratic presidential nominee.
Kamala Harris has always done the right thing. A champion for voting rights, civil rights, LGBTQ rights, the rights for women and girls. So Democrats and independents, it's time for us to do the right thing, and that is to elect Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States of America.
Tonight's convention theme is a bold vision for America's future. We're also expecting speeches from Bernie Sanders, Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff, Michelle Obama, and former President Barack Obama. And it comes as both presidential candidates are holding events in key battleground states. ABC's Christian Cordero joins us live tonight inside the convention center in Chicago. And Christian, there is a lot of excitement heading in tonight, too. You can just hear it in the background right now.
Yeah, I bet you can, Alex. I mean, you can feel it right here where I'm standing. And I bet you recognize that Vermont senator over my shoulder as well, Senator Bernie Sanders, speaking right in his wheelhouse, talking about the working class. In fact, you can't see it, but he's standing in front of a marquee that says, "Strong middle class, strong America," as he rallies support for the vice president. Today, the Harris-Walz campaign is back on the road to nearby Milwaukee, while at the DNC in Chicago, surrogates rally support on their behalf. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer telling fellow Democrats, despite the enthusiasm for Harris, now is not the time to be complacent.
As excited as we are about Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, the rest of the world is just trying to get through their day. And so we cannot make any assumptions that this energy is enough.
On night one of the convention, Vice President Harris surprised the packed house of supporters, but the night was largely about honoring the legacy of the man who stepped aside to endorse her.
Joe, thank you for your historic leadership, for your lifetime of service to our nation, and for all you will continue to do.
Tuesday's headliner, former President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, who plan to turn the page from the VP who served in the Obama administration to the current one, pushing the momentum to November. Sources tell ABC News they plan to affirm the Harris-Walz message of decency, they say, away from fear and division. The Trump-Vance campaign is on the road across the Midwest. Vance in Kenosha, a mere 40 miles from the Harris-Walz rally.
Obviously, politically, Wisconsin may be very well the most important state in the country come November.
Trump just outside of Detroit, also holding an event on crime and safety.
Just about every law enforcement group in the country has endorsed us, as you probably have heard. And there's a reason for that, because I believe in law enforcement. The other group doesn't.
So something that is probably not that surprising that I mentioned, right, is that there is a packed house here tonight. Not surprising because it is, after all, the Democratic National Convention here in Chicago at the United Center. Harris and Walz speaking 90 miles north of where we are right now at the Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee, where the Republican National Convention was held just over a month ago. She also filled that arena tonight, a really bold statement from the vice president as she's campaigning in the key battleground state, Alex.
And Christian, the roll call just wrapped up a few moments ago. Was there anything surprising that happened during it?
Yeah, I mean, there were a few things, right? Depending on what you were looking for. There was a little bit of celebrity impact. Lil Jon came out of seemingly nowhere to cast the votes on behalf of Georgia. You played the clip of Governor Gavin Newsom. That was kind of the gavel out, if you will, that exclamation point at the end of the night. There was music. There was just really high energy, these bracelets that have been lighting up all night. So there was really, it was an entertainment spectacle. And not surprisingly so, because it was, after all, a ceremonial vote there, Alex.
And security has been a top concern. What was it like today at the convention after a fence was breached by protesters just yesterday?
Right. A fence was breached yesterday. There were a handful of arrests that were made of the thousands that marched. We've seen a little bit of a different kind of chaos today. We know that there was a significant amount of protesters outside of the Israeli consulate here in Chicago, but police were organizing around that and trying to maintain it and control it. But what I will say is that here at the United Center, the lines to get in moved a lot faster, and I think that just kind of kept everything moving a lot quicker.
And before we let you go, we know the theme of today was a bold vision for America's future. What can we expect for day 3 of the convention tomorrow?
Well, the headline tomorrow will be Vice Presidential candidate Tim Walz, right, the Minnesota native. So we expect to hear him speak, as well as former President Bill Clinton, and those will be the two to watch, Alex.
All right, Christiane Cordero, live for us in Chicago. Thank you so much. And we are also hearing from California delegates tonight. One of them is West Sacramento Mayor Martha Guerrero, and she says that women have it harder in politics and wants people to know this about Vice President Kamala Harris.
That as a woman, she can do the job. She's decisive. She takes care of people. And that's what we will all need to see, what her history is, and seeing that bright side of her.
And you will be able to hear more from California delegates tonight on Late News tonight at 11. And you can also watch more DNC coverage live right here on ABC 10. ABC News will be live starting tonight at 7 p.m. right after To the Point. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, live coverage will start at 6 p.m. And coming up a little bit later in the show, before you decide to donate this election season, our Verify team is looking into who's really behind those political text messages. We'll show you how to make sure that your contribution goes to the right candidate. And we are following breaking news tonight in Sacramento. The Sacramento Sheriff's Office says a 16-year-old boy was stabbed in the chest at Mira Loma High School in Arden-Arcade, and deputies say the teenager was taken to the hospital but is expected to survive. The Sheriff's Office tells us that some kind of argument led to a fight before the stabbing, and we are told that one possible suspect has been detained. We are working to learn more about what happened and if anyone else was involved. The San Juan Unified School District tells us that counseling and safety staff will be on site tomorrow to help support staff and students. And we will keep you updated as we learn more on air and online at abc10.com. And as California's vehicles go all electric, a group of lawmakers are now calling on the governor to delay the state's 2035 goal. So they point to this Tesla semi-truck fire yesterday on I-80 that caused hours of delays. ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen shares what these lawmakers are asking for and how local firefighters are now preparing for this all-electric future.
To me, is unacceptable, and I think most motorists in California would agree with that.
What Senator Brian Jones is referring to is the hours-long shutdown of I-80 near Nyack on Monday. A Tesla semi-truck crashed and caught fire.
I think we ought to be getting the reaction of California motorists around the state and ask them how they feel about being stuck in their car for a day or 2 days while these vehicle fires, these truck fires, are burning themselves out.
On Monday, firefighters fought this fire from the ground and air to keep it from spreading. While the cause of the fiery crash is still unknown, Sacramento Fire Captain Justin Sylvia says electric car fires require a lot more resources.
It's at least double. Typically, it's 3,000 to 10,000 gallons of water that's needed to get in there and actually cool that battery pack system in there.
To compare, Sylvia says a gas vehicle fire takes about 500 gallons of water. Crews also have to be extra careful around the power lines of these vehicles.
There's no shut off essentially on these vehicles. So if you cut that wrong high voltage line, then you're going to get shocked from it.
Because of the extra resources required, Senator Jones and a group of other Republican lawmakers have sent Governor Gavin Newsom this letter asking him to delay the implementation of clean vehicles on the roadways.
If there's a plan in place and there's a plan to react to these emergencies, then great, let's move ahead. But until we have that plan in place, we need to put a halt on any more expansion of this technology.
A spokesperson for the governor's office tells ABC 10 it will continue to collaborate with relevant agencies as technology evolves while focusing on public safety. The California Air Resources Board did cite a 2024 study by the ZEV Alliance saying electric vehicle fires are less common than fires in gas vehicles between the years 2018 to 2021. The same study also notes that EV fires may become more frequent with more EVs on the road. In Sacramento, Jeannie Nguyen, ABC 10.
And because EVs are becoming more common on our roadways, Sacramento Fire does have a dedicated team looking at the best practices and tools that the department could need in the future as these fires continue to happen. Still ahead on to the point why a family is suing a local hospital after their daughter went missing.
And hold on tight, temperatures are expected to go from about 90 degrees all the way down to 76. More on the cold storm system headed our way.
Plus, a local police department warning of a new scam, how you can protect yourself. Welcome back. Let's take a look at our forecast with meteorologist Carly Gomez. Before you get into your forecast, by the way, we did not plan this, but pretty much everybody at the station is wearing green today.
If there's green in the air, I don't know.
We spend so much time together, we're all on the same wavelength.
We are. And then temperature-wise, we are looking at temps dropping as much as 15 degrees in a matter of 2 days. Now, with our weather impact days coming up, we're looking at Thursday and Friday. So you have one more day here where you're getting more average temperatures. Then the weather pattern shift arrives Thursday into Friday and maybe even lasting as late as Saturday morning with cooler temperatures ahead. Gusty winds, though, are bringing the potential for fire outbreaks, but also for more summer rain and even snowfall. It's a weird thing to hear to say when you're talking about fire weather and then snowfall all in the same sentence. The fire weather watch in effect Thursday, 2 p.m. until 10 p.m. for mostly the high Sierra spots into Nevada. We do have a few areas into California also dealing with that. Susanville as well as the east portion there, all the way into Reno and much of Nevada, dealing with some strong wind gusts that could lead to potential fire outbreaks. Wednesday, though, about 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts. And check out Thursday. That's where everyone's getting the effects of the wind gusts, as well as that Sierra Crest into Nevada, as they'll be looking at some spots even pushing 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts. Now, let's take a look here at this cold pattern that's starting to make its way in. This cold storm system coming in from the Gulf of Alaska begins to arrive Thursday, pushing up against the high, leading to those strong winds that'll be pushing inland over California. Friday, we start to see this pushing overhead in the trough and low pressure system into our Friday night. This could begin bringing us some potential for thunderstorms, some light hail, lightning strikes, and even some sprinkles and Sierra snowfall. So this will be Friday night into Saturday morning before it begins exiting the region. As we get that closer look at our radar, at least the future cast, starting into the northwest portion of the state Friday afternoon. And then by around 8 a.m., we could even see some sprinkles pushing into the San Joaquin Valley with high Sierra snowfall possible. After that, we'll be dealing with some cooler temperatures as well headed our way. Let's take a look here at our 10-day forecast. Next 3 days, dropping into the low 80s to mid 70s by Friday. And then even into next week, we are looking to heat up near triple digits.
Thanks, Carly. Next on to the point, a family suing a local hospital why they say their daughter's body was misplaced. Plus, is your campaign donation going to the right place? Our verified team explains who's really sending political text messages. For a year, a family was looking for their daughter, only to find out that she had been dead this whole time. ABC 10's Devin Truby looks into the hospital now being sued for negligence for never telling the family she died in their care.
She loved us all, actually. She was the kind of kid that would give you her last jelly bean out of her pocket, even though it was full of fuzz.
Ginger Kanji now forced to talk about her 31-year-old daughter Jessie Peterson in the past tense, but at least it's a small bit of closure after her daughter had been missing for the last year.
People walking on the side of the street and slow down to see if it was her. Anybody that matched her stature or her color of hair. We went looking for her. We put posters up.
Ginger says she last spoke to her daughter in the beginning of April 2023 when she was at Mercy San Juan Medical Center to be treated for her diabetes. Ginger says the hospital told her that Jessie was discharged. A year later, a Sacramento County Sheriff's detective told Ginger that Jessie was dead. She in fact had died at that very hospital and had been in cold storage in the morgue the entire time.
Well, our hearts are broken. Pretty hard as a parent to think about your child living or not living, being in a freezer someplace all by herself The fact that she died all by herself, tucked away someplace that nobody cared.
Jesse's family is now suing Mercy San Juan for negligence.
I have a hospital called Dignity Health, and there was no dignity to Jesse or the family. Obligation of the doctor and the hospital is to issue the death certificate within 15 hours of the death. In this case, we have the death certificate that was issued a year after the death.
The hospital released a statement to ABC 10. We extend our deepest sympathies to the family during this difficult time. We are unable to comment on pending litigation. The family said those condolences were never expressed to them. In Sacramento County, Devin Truby, ABC 10.
And the family is requesting a jury trial and $5 million in damages. And if you've noticed some lights out along the Tower Bridge, you're not alone. Caltrans says that this is due to electrical issues. A spokesperson tells us that the electrical system is over 50 years old, and they say they're waiting for some parts and hope to get the lights back on within the next 2 to 3 days. Right now, Auburn police are warning of a new phone scam with people posing as officers. Take a look at this. They say scammers tell residents they have a warrant out for their arrest and they need to wire money. Officers tell us that while these scams usually target the elderly, this is not the case this time. They stress that law enforcement agencies will never ask you to pay for things over the phone.
We typically will go out to your residence, so we're going to be in full uniform. We'll have her identification so you can verify whatever you need from us if we're not in full uniform. And that's how we make our contact if there's outstanding warrants or if there's any paperwork issues.
Officers tell us other red flags include people asking for personal information like your social security number or bank information. If you get a call like this, police say to hang up right away and give your local department a call. Who is really sending you those political text messages? Before you donate this election season, Verify uncovered some groups claiming to be with campaigns are really just pocketing your cash instead. Tonight, Josh Zordowitz shows us how to make sure that your contribution goes to the candidate that you want.
It's just one after the other.
It has become a sort of daily doom scroll for Steve Giglio in Bartow, sorting through the deluge of political donation requests.
Like, I've actually missed personal text messages as I'm scrolling through it again.
And he isn't alone. Americans received a record 15 billion political texts during the 2022 midterms, with even more expected by the time this election cycle wraps up. But they aren't always coming directly from the candidates. Instead, from groups with names like Democratic Power or Patriots for America. Steve emailed Verify wondering if all these requests are really legitimate.
Are they going to the candidate that you're choosing to vote for eventually? That's probably the biggest question.
So let's verify, are groups asking for your donations always giving that money to the candidates they claim to support? Our sources are the Campaign Legal Center, campaign finance data from the Federal Election Commission, and Chara Torres-Spelisi, an expert in election law with Stetson University. She says the short answer to Steve's question is no, because some of these groups asking for your hard-earned cash are what she calls scam PACs.
A scam PAC is a PAC that pretends to raise money for either a candidate or a cause, and then the organizers of the scam PAC just pocket the money and run.
PACs, short for Political Action Committee, are tax-exempt organizations that are supposed to pool campaign contributions to then donate to candidates or causes. But Verify reviewed federal records that reveal groups like Democratic Power on the left or Patriots for American Leadership on the right gave just a fraction of the millions they raised to the candidates they claim to support. Watchdog organizations like Open Secrets and the Campaign Legal Center have uncovered dozens of similar scam PACs, siphoning money from unsuspecting voters and instead spending it on travel, administrative costs, or simply more fundraising. So then why aren't they being stopped? The DOJ has managed to bust some fraudsters behind a few of these scam PACs, but the FEC's former chair has said it, quote, shockingly can't stop these scam artists until Congress takes action and gives the FEC the tools to regulate them. Current law does give committees a lot of leeway on how they use their funds. So before handing over your credit card, Torres-Spelisi recommends searching for the official candidate campaign committee, or looking for trusted intermediaries like Act Blue on the left or Patriot Pass on the right.
Next on To The Point, we take you back out live to the Democratic Convention. The Obamas expected to take the stage any moment. You're taking a live look at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Vice President Kamala Harris is officially the party's nominee. Within the last hour, delegates finished pledging their votes in a ceremonial roll call, and Governor Gavin Newsom addressed the crowd, pushing the votes over the edge. And at any moment, former President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama are set to take the stage. And you can watch that speech right here on ABC 10. ABC News will be live tonight starting at 7 p.m. right after To The Point. As always, thank you so much for watching and for inviting us into your home. If you have something you think we should be looking into, make sure to reach out to me and the team. Have a great night. We'll see you right back here on Friday. Hey, it's Alex. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. The To The Point team and I love hearing from you, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. And don't forget, you can always email me and the team at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send us a text message at 916-321-3310.